to start off with a work in progress clip because I finally got studio monitors, so I can do that. I can play music not out of my headphones, and you can hear it on my phone, sort of. I really love The Killers, and so I was making this song, and I had no intention of doing any sort of remix thing with it, but as I was doing it, and I was playing through kind of humming, oh, what would it sound like if I put lyrics over this thing? I was like, wait, this sounds like kind of oddly familiar to, what's that song? Oh yeah, Mr. Brightside by The Killers. So I was like, I threw the audio on there, and it kind of worked. So far, I mean, obviously, like, it's work in progress. There's a lot more that needs to go into it, and I am still learning. I guess, you know, no matter how professional you are in music, you're always still learning. So I guess that kind of goes without saying. But obviously, I'm still a beginner. But I thought it sounded okay, and now that I have these the monitors here, it should really help with mixing, because what happens is when you use headphones, I might have mentioned this previously, like, just after even just a few minutes of listening kind of loudly, you kind of forget what sounds good and what doesn't. Like, it's called ear fatigue, and it helps so much not having to use headphones in that regard. So I ordered these things last week, like soon as I got back from Vancouver, because these are actually the monitors that Eminence was using in the studio up there, and they sounded really good, and he swore by them, so I was like, you know what? If a professional recommends them, you can't really go wrong. I had them initially kind of up mounted, so I have these, I know, rip to the cable setup here, but there's not much I can do about this, unfortunately. Like, I suppose if I got longer power cables and longer XLR cables, I could kind of tuck them away, but even so, like, it's not incredibly pretty, I know. But I had them initially fully standing on these, but the problem was, like, my computer monitors were all together, right? They didn't have any gaps between them. And so the issue became I had to have them, like, up here. Like, if you go on my Instagram, you can see it. But then everyone was like, you can't do that, man. It has to be pointing, like, directly at ear level. And I could hear the difference between when I was sitting and when I stood up and went at ear level, and I was like, I gotta move them down. So, you know how professional this setup is here? You know how professional this is? This is foam that was in the packaging for the speakers. It's white. It matches the stone of the desk. And so I repurposed it. And now they're half on the monitor stands and half on the desk. You know, if an earthquake comes, it's all gonna fall down anyway, so whatever, it doesn't matter. And see, I had to do this instead of putting them directly on the desk because there's all the cables down there and stuff, and otherwise, anyway, whatever. That said, I'm very happy with it so far. Obviously, the audio quality is not fully gonna translate between being played out of my speakers, re-recorded onto the phone, and then played out via whatever playback device you're using. There's going to be a lost quality there, but it sounds really good in person. So, you know, anyway, yeah, dude, I'm super stoked because I feel like this combined with sort of the advice that I got in Vancouver means I've got a nice direction. It was really cool coming back and being able to say, oh, this is exactly what I need to do now in order to fix what I'm doing here. Like, I had it's called a limiter on the master channel, because it comes by default when you open a new project in FL Studio, and that's like a big no-no, and I didn't realize that, and so I went back and I'm having to redo the mix on everything, but it's for the better, I think, in that way. It's all proper, and then in the very end, so I know there's probably going to be some varying opinions on this, but when it comes to me finally, I don't know when it's going to be. I have no estimate as to when this is going to happen, but when I finally do release a track, I am going to take my final mix and send it off to a mastering engineer, because, like, let's be honest, a mastering engineer has spent, like, most of their lives probably just doing mastering in a particular studio space set up just for that, and that is what they're an expert at, and they're simply going to be better at it. And so when it comes to, like, a final release, making it as good as possible, that's probably what I'm going to do. That's, in fact, what most people end up doing, like, professional radio stuff and the things you hear on record labels, that's usually sent off to professional mastering engineers. So I'm like, let's do that. Let's make it happen. That said, I mean, I'm not going to ignore trying to learn that stuff, but they will simply be objectively better at it than I will be, ever, pretty much. Yeah, so I think I've got like 5 currently active projects that I'm kind of jumping between, and I think that's like a good amount. I think I'm gonna stick with that at the moment. I do get like ideas coming into my head, like, you know, I'll just be in the car or something, and something will pop into my head, and I'll grab my phone and the recorder out of it, and I'll just hum into my phone. And in fact, that's how I got the melody for like the latest thing I've been working on. I'm not going to show it to you yet. No, I'm not going to music overload you. I'm just going to let you focus on this one for now. But anyway, and I think it turned out okay. We'll see. We'll see. You know, I think I've got a decent ear for what sounds good, the notes and chords and all that. But what's going to be an ongoing learning process is simply how to put everything together in a way that sounds nice and clear and crisp, mixing. And it's gonna be a learning thing, but I'm excited for it. As you can probably tell by how much I have talked about music recently. And then on the other front with the music channel, which is like, again, it's gonna be where my music is, but as well as like more of a community hub for music. That's still like figuring out the plan for that, but it is gonna be happening. That is certainly the plan, and so just stay tuned in the future months and stuff for things to happen on that regard. But it's an exciting process thing. Also, I do hope I can even release this as a remix down the road. I don't know what goes into how you release remixes, and yeah, but we'll see about that. I'll talk to the people. I'll talk to people about that. Music is always fun in that regard. Which is why, as I've mentioned, any tracks that I make, remix is probably not included in this, but any track, like fully original tracks that I do, anyone can use them in their YouTube stuff, because I like the idea of free and open music for people to use creatively. Not re-upload, that's not included. That's not an allowed thing. But like creatively using it in montages and stuff like that. So, anyway, I like that idea. So, yeah. Oh, I did want to mention, actually, in a couple hours, if you're watching this like right when it came out, a couple hours at 4:00 p.m. Pacific was the date today. It is May 24th. I'm going to be doing a live stream on Forza. They have a new DLC thing, and I'm going to be doing that over on Twitch. So if you caught this in time, you can go check out the live stream. It's going to be going on for 2 hours, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. So 2 hours to 4 hours after this video has been released. Link is in the description to my Twitch if you want to check that out. And I'll probably do like a dedicated upload video as well for it, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. Excited about music stuff. And yeah, dude, I guess on that note, I'll catch you all later. Or maybe on the live stream.